On behalf of the foundation, the board that I chair or co-chair, I would like to really thank all of you for coming today to this 2024 SBEC Forum. I would like to thank you because we are here for a very important conversation over the next 2 days. And the theme that has been put for this forum is strengthening Cameroon's entrepreneurial ecosystem. From what Mr. Yumba quickly gauged from the room, the issues are many, the concerns are many, the opportunities are many, but the question remains, how do we ensure that this ecosystem, the ecosystem for entrepreneurs, is as strong as we all want that ecosystem to be? How do we ensure that the ecosystem is dynamic, that it responds to the needs of not just our business owners and all the entrepreneurs who are working day in and day out to be able to grow their businesses and provide value to the clients? How do we ensure that that ecosystem has the regulatory framework, the legal framework that ensures that our small businesses will continue to thrive? I don't have to remind all of you here, because I know you all have first-hand experience, that in our country, in Cameroon, the SME sector accounts for more than 95% of all registered businesses. More than 95% of all registered businesses. When you look at the employment contribution to the economy and the GDP for that matter, it contributes more than 60% of our GDP. So it is an extremely vital sector. But we also know that the vast majority of our businesses are in the informal sector. There are many reasons why the informal sector is dominating. Nothing wrong with the informal sector. But as we know, our governments try as much as possible to ensure that the informal sector can be formalized. And we know also that many of the challenges that some have already enumerated here, financial challenges, are more easier to be solved outside the informal sector than in the informal sector. So how do we do that? How do we ensure that we can accelerate the transition from the informal sector to the formal sector for many emerging and growing businesses who want to survive? Now, as I mentioned earlier, to foster this entrepreneurial ecosystem in Cameroon, relevant political and legal as well as regulatory frameworks are essential for the survival of businesses. Last year, we interviewed more than 100 SMEs. From what we found, not to any of our surprise, is that most SMEs don't survive past their third year in existence. The vast majority, over 50% of SMEs do not survive after 3 years. Now, if you don't survive, I just take the example of a child. A child is born. By the time they are 3 years old, what can a child really do at 3 years of age that would be contributing to the economy? So it becomes very important for us to ensure that SMEs, our businesses, can grow from infancy through to adulthood, through maturity. When you have firms that are 15, 20 years in existence, those are the times when they have mastered their ecosystem and are able to really leverage the ecosystem and make the changes that we want to see. But that cannot happen in a vacuum. As we said, that has to happen in an enabling ecosystem. So today we are here for these 2 days because we are primarily focused on that question. How How do we strengthen the entrepreneurial ecosystem in our country? How do we support the work of each other? How do we make sure that all the partners, the various networks, the various associations that are looking to build on each other, how do we ensure that they are stronger together? How do we facilitate that? How do we facilitate financing of SMEs? How do we discuss with various banking institutions to ensure that funding for SMEs is much more available and in substantial quantities? Ladies and gentlemen, that's why we're here. And that's what some of the questions that we're looking to have all our experts here, help us, debate. Because I am not a business owner. I'm a doctor, I'm a surgeon. So we are looking at you who have the answers to these questions to help us support each other, help us work with government institutions and other regulatory bodies to ensure that the ecosystem can be strengthened. That is the role that we expect to be able to accomplish. That's the goal that we expect to accomplish by the end of this forum. To advocate for solid policy change, to foster a sustainable entrepreneurial environment in Cameroon, to promote public-private partnerships to improve the entrepreneurial ecosystem in Cameroon, and importantly, to recommend policies that could be adopted and implemented by various stakeholders to reduce the tax burden that most of our SMEs suffer, and to ensure that their access to financing is optimized. And lastly, over the last 5 to 6 years, we have been talking about the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. AFTA is now a buzzword, but the transformation of AFTA into very practical opportunities for SMEs, especially in our country, with the various value chains that have to be identified and optimized, we still have a long way to go to be able to achieve our potential. We hope that during this conference, during this forum, our experts would help us better understand how we can leverage AFTA, better understand how our SMEs can be positioned to optimize the benefits that AFTA presents. Please, let me take this opportunity to thank our supporters who have made the SBEC program possible, who continue to support us, particularly the Rising Tide Foundation, the John Templeton Foundation, and I wish all of you and all of us happy deliberations. Thank you.